Somewhere in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, there is a garden bed that has not been tilled in over 40 years. No rototiller has ever touched it. No bottle of chemical herbicide has ever been opened near it. The weeds are almost non-existent, and the soil looks like fresh chocolate cake, dark, crumbly, alive, rich with biological activity that synthetic fertilizer cannot create and never could. 300 miles east, millions of gardeners wake up every spring to the same heartbreak. The crabgrass is back. The thistles have returned. The dandelions have staged another invasion, despite all the pulling, all the spraying, all the money spent at the hardware store. Every beautiful spring morning that should bring joy brings another round of bending, kneeling, and aching. The global herbicide market now exceeds $34 billion a year, growing by 5% annually. That is not a coincidence. That is a business model. One built not on solving the weed problem permanently, but on managing it just enough to keep gardeners reaching for the same bottles season after season. The Amish have quietly stepped off that treadmill entirely. For generations, they have grown abundant food without spending a single dollar on weed control, without a rototiller, without a bottle of anything from the garden center. Their system is not exotic or complicated. It is so simple that the modern gardening industry has very little financial reason to promote it. Today, we are covering exactly how it works. Stay through to the end. The fifth technique involves something that happens while the gardener is asleep, and most people have never heard of it.
Part 1. The Great Tilling Deception. The ritual that creates the problem. Every spring, the same ritual plays out in backyards across the country. The rototiller comes out of the shed, the engine sputters to life, the soil gets churned until it looks dark, fluffy, and clean. The gardener stands back and admires the empty bed. It looks like the perfect fresh start. But appearances here are dangerously deceiving. That freshly tilled bed is actually the single biggest reason the weeds keep winning. Research from Michigan State University found that agricultural soils contain anywhere from 56 to nearly 15,000 viable weed seeds in a single square foot. Scientists call this underground reservoir the weed seed bank. A single lamb's quarters plant can produce over 72,000 seeds in a single season. Many remain viable underground for 5, 10, even 20 years. Every time a tiller blade slices through the ground, it reaches into that dark underground vault, scoops seeds up to the surface, and hands them exactly what they have been waiting for. It is like reaching into a bag of 15,000 lottery tickets and pulling out a handful, except the gardener is the one who always loses. What tilling does to living soil. Soil biologist Dr. Elaine Ingham spent years mapping the soil food web, a vast living network of bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and microorganisms that keeps healthy soil functioning. When a tiller rips through that network, it levels everything. The most critical casualties are the arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi, microscopic threads that attach directly to plant roots and help them access water and minerals from deep underground. These fungi also produce glomalin, a natural adhesive that binds soil particles into spongy, aerated clumps. Destroy the fungi, destroy the glomalin. By midsummer, the garden bed bakes into rock-hard clay. The Amish approach starts with one radical decision: retire the tiller permanently. Let the buried seeds stay buried. Let the fungal networks rebuild. Let the soil do what healthy soil was always designed to do.
Part 2. The Cardboard Revolution. Walk into any undisturbed forest and look down. The ground is never bare. Fallen leaves, decaying twigs, and plant debris form a continuous blanket that smothers weed seedlings, feeds microorganisms underneath, and traps moisture. Nature perfected this system long before gardening existed. The Amish copy it using plain brown corrugated cardboard. The method. There is no need to pull existing weeds. Just mow or cut vegetation as low as possible, then water the area thoroughly. Lay down overlapping sheets of plain brown corrugated cardboard.
Remove any tape, stickers, or glossy sections first. Critical detail: edges must overlap by at least 4 to 6 inches. Weeds will find any hairline gap where light sneaks through. Cardboard does 2 things plastic landscape fabric never can. First, it blocks 100% of sunlight, shutting down the weed seed bank instantly. Second, as it decays, it becomes an irresistible food source for earthworms, which tunnel through compacted soil, aerating it for free and leaving behind worm castings. Over 4 to 6 months, the cardboard biodegrades completely. Plastic landscape fabric stays forever, slowly suffocating the soil beneath it. Cover the cardboard with 2 to 4 inches of compost, then a protective top layer of straw, shredded leaves, or wood chips. Planting does not have to wait. Cut a small X in the cardboard, set the transplant into the soil below, and fold the cardboard back around the stem. Vigorous early growth and dramatically fewer weeds from day 1. If you want the complete written guide for everything covered in this video, exact measurements, step-by-step instructions, and the full planting schedule, it is linked in the description below.
Part 3. The Planting Hole Hack. There is a frustrating plateau many dedicated gardeners hit and never understand. The watering is consistent, the compost is generous, but the plants just sit there, stuck in neutral season after season. Often, the culprit is completely invisible. The nutrients are physically present in the soil, but chemically locked up because the pH is out of balance. Think of it like a pantry full of food with every cabinet padlocked shut. Traditional Amish growers solve this with 2 items that cost nothing: spent coffee grounds and wood ash. Coffee grounds provide nitrogen, attract earthworms, and stimulate microbial activity. But used alone and heavily over time, they gradually push soil pH acidic, locking up calcium and phosphorus. The counterbalance comes from the fireplace. Pure hardwood ash is a concentrated source of potassium, calcium, and magnesium. The mistake most gardeners make is tossing dry ash directly into the hole. Dry ash is highly alkaline. It causes the nitrogen in coffee grounds to convert into ammonia gas and escape into the air. On top of that, the pH spike scorches tender young roots. The Amish workaround is simple. Make a liquid extract. 2 tablespoons of hardwood ash stirred into a liter of water overnight. The minerals dissolve safely. At planting time, a generous handful of coffee grounds goes into the bottom of the hole. Then a 1/4 cup of the milky ash liquid gets poured gently over the grounds. The alkaline minerals neutralize the coffee acidity gradually and evenly. No spike, no scorched roots. Gardeners report visibly deeper green foliage by the 3rd week compared to plants set in untreated holes just feet away. Part 4. Nature's Chemical Warfare. Cereal rye. There is a common, inexpensive grain crop that manufactures its own natural herbicide while it grows, suppressing weeds automatically with no effort from the gardener. Experienced Amish growers never leave soil bare at the end of the growing season. Instead, they scatter seed for cereal rye. Researchers at Cornell University and Penn State have documented a biological phenomenon called allelopathy. As cereal rye grows, even through freezing temperatures, it produces chemical compounds called benzoxazienoids. When the rye residue decomposes in early spring, those compounds release into the surrounding soil and suppress the germination of pigweed, crabgrass, and lamb's quarters by up to 95% for 30 to 60 days. Near total weed suppression from one cheap cover crop. About 3 to 4 weeks before planting, the rye gets cut at the base and left lying flat on the soil. No tilling. The fungal networks stay intact. The mat blocks sunlight from weed seeds, conserves 30% of soil moisture, and continues releasing weed-suppressing chemistry as it breaks down. Spring transplants push through small openings cut in the mat. One simple fall planting replaces months of weeding the following year.
Part 5. The Stale Seedbed and the Nocturnal Army. Growing delicate crops from seed, carrots, beets, lettuce, radishes, presents a unique challenge. These plants are tiny and fragile, far too small to compete with weeds. The Amish answer is called the stale seed bed, and it works exactly like a trap. The bed gets prepared just as if planting day had arrived, raked smooth, watered deeply, looking perfect. Then, nothing. No seeds go in. The gardener walks away and waits. Within 7 to 10 days, thousands of dormant weed seeds sense the moisture and light and sprout eagerly. Tiny green threads barely visible, with almost no root system yet. That is when the trap snaps shut. A sharp hoe lightly scrapes the top half-inch of soil. 5 minutes of shallow work wipes out an entire generation of weeds before a single one can drop seed. Catch them thread thin, and they come out with almost no effort. Repeat twice before planting, and weed emergence drops by 50 to 70% for the rest of the season. For open spaces between tall crops, the Amish sow white Dutch clover between rows. It forms a dense, living carpet that crowds out weeds, pulls free nitrogen from the atmosphere, and attracts pollinating insects by the hundreds. And then, the most surprising part. Researchers at Cornell found that common ground beetles living in the shelter of cover crops emerge at night and consume up to 65% of weed seeds on the soil surface. While the gardener sleeps, a quiet army is patrolling the garden rows and eating the next generation of weeds before they ever get a chance to germinate.
Conclusion: when gardening stops being a battle, when the tiller gets retired and the cardboard goes down, when coffee grounds and wood ash replace store-bought products, when cereal rye and clover and earthworms and ground beetles are allowed to do the work they were always designed to do, gardening stops being a battle. It becomes something closer to a partnership, a conversation between the gardener and the ground, where both sides finally understand each other. The Amish understood this for generations. They watched. They listened to the soil instead of fighting it. And now, modern science is confirming their wisdom with hard data from respected universities. Every technique in this video costs nothing, works with nature instead of against it, and builds rich, dark, living soil that gets better every single year. It costs nothing. It saves aching backs and stiff knees. And it builds soil that will outlast every gardener who tends it. A quiet legacy, passed down not in dollars, but in the dirt itself. Are you retiring your tiller this season? Tell me in the comments. And share this with a friend who might be ready to put down the sprayer and pick up the cardboard. Before you go, the complete written guide for everything in this video is linked in the description below. The cardboard method, the planting hole recipe with exact measurements, the cereal rye schedule, and the full no-dig system laid out step by step. Grab it before you start so you have it as a reference while you work. Happy gardening!